Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Fish Den 365. I'm Den Haring, and today we're going to do another unboxing. This is from Tackle Warehouse. I thought you might be interested in seeing what I'm buying here in recent times. And I think I can remember most of what I've gotten here, but I'm not entirely sure of everything. So let's open it up and we'll go through it, show you what I'm thinking, why I'm buying some of the things that I'm buying. And you can get to follow right along and see what I'm up to here. All right, let's take a look. Pulling out the packaging stuff here. All right, so the first item are three packs of Zoom lizards. Just the simple Zoom lizards. These are 6 inchers. I really wanted to get the Scuppernong color. That's like root beer, Scuppernong. But they didn't have it. They're out of that color, or they don't carry it. I'll have to see if I can find it at Bass Pro or somewhere else. But I did need some others. This is straight black. I got 2 packs of black because I like black lizards. And I also got a color that I've done very well with the Zoom Z Craw. I figured might be a good lizard color too. I'll show you that one. It's called California 420. It's an interesting color. It's got red spots in it. It's got some green pumpkin and some watermelon in there. It's a good color, and I could always dye some of these tails chartreuse to add a little more to the lizard. But I'm sure I'm going to be catching them on this color, no matter where I throw it. This will work everywhere, but it'll work really well where we're throwing it in lily pads and milfoil and weedy kind of cover. Now, I like these lizards. They're a great bait. They excel generally in the spring. And the theory behind this is that lizards in the wild or salamanders tend to eat fish eggs or bass eggs, and the bass don't like that and they hit these aggressively. I don't know if that's true or not. That may be true, but the bass do hit these things very aggressively, especially around the spawn and after the spawn. So we're talking June time frame after the spawn. They're good all summer long, and they're good on a Carolina rig. You can Texas rig these things. I like to throw these on a split shot rig, which is a modified version of a Carolina rig, but lighter split shot, and just throw it out into the milfoil and just drag it along out there. It catches a lot of fish. I learned that method from an old buddy of mine named Terry Fatzinger. Terry was very good at catching bass using a split shot rig with a Scuppernong lizard. Good memories. What else do we have in here? Well, you guys know I've got the Nessie, the Berkley Nessie. I bought a few more because I didn't have this color in the small size. I wanted a couple more 5 inchers because where I fish, Beltsville, Blue Marsh, Wallen Paulpack, the size of the bait is more like this. And I had a solid white one, but I really like this color. I'm going to pull this out for you so you can see it a little more clearly. This is called Shad. I think it's just straight shad. Yep. So it is a very natural color. It's got a little bit of bluish up here, nice dark back, got the lightish sides, good eyes on it. It's just a really natural color, and I think this thing is going to catch me some fish this year. Looking forward to throwing it and having some video to share with you regarding this bait. So I got 2 of these because, you know, they're not going to last forever when they catch fish, and if you lose one, definitely want to have another one. All right, let's put those away. What else do we have? This is something that I just had to try. I've never knew these things existed before. This one, they put a little blade on the back, which is interesting. This one, oh, this one has it too. So this is the company is called Karahara. I believe it's a Japanese company, so this is a JDM bait, and it's called the KJ Crankbait. And what makes this thing unique is that it is a square bill, but it's a soft square bill, and it is extremely soft. Look at this. Wow, that is nothing to it to pull that down. And even the lip is it seems like a circuit board lip, but it's not. It's just soft and flexible. It's got a weight on the bottom. You can put hooks on this if you want. You could put a treble hook on the back. They didn't even advertise with this. They must have added this for flash and for extra attention. Maybe it balances the bait too. This is one I'm going to have to experiment with, so you can expect to see me messing around with this on an upcoming Topwater Tuesday. Perhaps the very next Topwater Tuesday, we'll see. But this is a very interesting bait. I have to play with this and see how it works. The idea is that it's weedless, right? It's got the hook arrangement. It's soft plastic, so you can just throw it in the milfoil or right over the milfoil and swim it right through that stuff, or right into that stuff. I'm hoping that I can throw this in and around lily pads. It's narrow across the back, so I think I can get it between those lily pads, have it dive down a little bit, let it float back up, maybe wake it between there. It's not a big bait. It's pretty small. It's only a couple. Let's see how they have this measurement here. It's probably in it's 62 millimeters, which is very, very small. A couple inches. That's about it. But I like the bait. I got two different colors. This one looks a little more like a bluegill, especially if I add a little yellow to the belly of that. Let me show you. The other one is a shad color. It even comes with an extra treble hook in case you want to put that on the back. Here's the shad colored one. Nice looking bait. I like the big dot on there. They got realistic eyes on them, and they're very, very flexible and extremely soft. Fish grabs this, you should be able to hook it pretty easily. It should be good. Looking forward to fishing this guy and seeing what it does in the water. What I'll do is if I set this up for a Topwater Tuesday, I'll throw it with the spinner on the back and I'll take it off and see how it works without it as well. All right, what else did we get? I had to get this bait. This is the Spro Shad, and I had a hard time deciding what I want to get, what color. Now I've got shad colored baits, and I intend to probably use this at night. So at night it probably won't matter so much what color it is, but I decided too that I fish some clear water environments that have some big perch in them. And so I thought, let's get the perch color. Let's take this out. So this is the Spro KGB Shad. This bait is not cheap. It's not one of the most expensive glide baits, and it is a glide bait, but it's, it's in that $50 range, and so, you don't want to lose this bait when you're fishing this thing. But I've read so many good things about this bait. This bait, if you're going to get a off-the-shelf glide bait and you want a good quality one for the price, this is the one to get, or certainly one of them. Let's take a look at it. Curious to know, it's not too heavy. I'm curious to know what the weight of this bait is. Let's see what it says. So the bait color is called Ghost Perch. That's pretty nice. Look at that. I like that color. And the weight of the bait, let's see if it says somewhere. It's 180 millimeters long. So that's about, what, 7 inches, 6, 7, probably a 7-inch bait. I don't see the weight of the bait. It's probably a couple ounces. It's not too bad. I have a really good rod to throw this on. I'm not crazy about what I see with the hooks. They look a little small for the size of the bait, so I may upgrade those to larger hooks. They're strong hooks, but I think I might want a little bit of a bigger hook on there, and that would probably let the bait sink a little faster, maybe get it down just a little bit more. It feels like it will go down, but as soon as you start reeling these baits, they tend to come up a bit to the top. This is another one where we'll have to get it out, throw it out in the water, and allow you to see how it looks in the water. But this one's going to catch fish. If I use this bait, I'll catch fish on it because this one is a known, very good bait in the glide bait category. Let me read a couple items that what it says here on the back. It says performance, designed and perfected with experience to provide the performance of a custom hand-built bait, even though it's not. Versatile, absolute control of depth and direction, everything from super slow retrieves to the fastest burn, wide glides or choppy cuts. This bait does it all, which is what I'm looking for. I like to be able to chop the bait, but I like that wide glide for certain circumstances as well. And then user-friendly, beginner or pro, this bait does the work on its own. Beginners can have a high precision bait, or pros can have this as a secret weapon when you need a big bag for weigh-in. So that's the KGB Shad made by Spro, and I really like the look of that bait. That's gonna look at the eyes on it too. Really big eyes. Nice bait. Really nice bait. All right, we've got 2 more baits in the box here, and then we've got some bonus baits that I did an unboxing previously, and I accidentally wiped the card of the camera before I got that to you. So we'll show you some of these bonus baits and talk about that as well. And we got one more soft plastic bait in here too. This is a brush hog. So I got the brush hog is even meatier and bigger and displaces more water than the Zoom Lizard does. Got this meatier appendages, but I got it in that same California 420 color. I like that color. It's going to catch me fish, and I'm looking forward to throwing this year. All right, last two baits here. I wanted to get the bigger size of this, and they didn't have them available. They're on back order. But this is a bait I haven't fished yet, but I've been hearing so much about it. It's an evergreen bait, and it's called the Shower Blows. The only problem is this is the small size. This is the 77.7 millimeter size. I wanted to get the 105 size. They didn't have any left. That'll have to be a video for another day. This will be another Top Water Tuesday subject, though, where I show you how this bait works. These baits catch fish. I know that based on the experience of a number of anglers, but I have to find out for myself, obviously, and I like to share what I learned with you. So here's the bait, and this is called the Evergreen Shower Blows 77.7 millimeters. It comes with a little split ring on the nose. I'll probably take that off and just use a snap, my little snap that I like. The color of this one is called Neon Wagasagi, and it's got a little purple in there, a nice olive green back, nice feather tail. I'll probably upgrade these hooks though, because they're not the, I prefer the EWGs, extra wide gaps, that have the turned in slightly points. I think they hold fish better. But boy, I like the color of this bait, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it performs on the water. This thing spits a lot of water from what I understand, but it also walks. It's definitely one of these things that I call a hybrid bait that I have to get fishing and then let you know what I really think of it. So that's one. I got one of the Neon Wakasaki, and then this next color is called Natural Gill. You'll know why when I pull it out of the pack. You can get a better look at it here. It's got a pretty good bluegill / perch look to it. There we go. Alright, they have a little rubber band that holds the hooks together. I don't care for that. I just want to cut that off without cutting a feather. Okay, so here is the gill color. It's got a real dark black back, and it's got more of that amber color, and it's got some very light faded bars in the bait. Excuse me. So it looks like a bluegill. It's got a little orange in the front. I like that. Bluegill perch color. Again, we'll get these out there and we'll see how they fish, how they work in the water. They're definitely weighted. They have loud rattles in them. Looking forward to getting the 105 size and showing that to you as well. But that's the Evergreen Shower Blows. This is a well-known top water lure, liked by very many out there. It gets very good ratings. And that's it for this box. But like I said, we've got some bonus material to show you. So show you what we've been looking at and playing with lately. And that is the Crush City baits from Rapola. So there's some different size Crush City. These are called the Mayor. It's a swim bait. Here's one that I've rigged on the Tush Jig Head. It's called the Tush, which stands for the Ultimate Jig Head. And so the weight on this jig head is actually along the hook shank. So this actually weighs 3/8 of an ounce. I'll show you what that looks like when it's not inside the bait. So the advantage of that is you don't have a big jig head in the front of the bait. Here's how it looks before it goes in that bait. It's just got the lead on the hook, and you just slide it into the bait. Now you just have the bait, but because that lead is in there, it has more of a fall. Instead of falling straight down like this, it has more of this kind of fall, a little more natural fall to it. And you can have it come up and swim back down again in a more natural way. Plus you can just keep it down better when it does go down, because the weight is back here, not here. weight is back, not front, so it stays down in the water column a little better when you're reeling it in. And I experimented with this when I was at Beltsville last week, and it had a real nice rock and a good tail swim in the 39-degree water. This is going to catch fish. It had a real nice look to it, and I look forward to looking at it if you're fishing with it. If you're wondering where this red came from, I painted the gills red. I put some red on the gill just to be an attractor to the fish. Hopefully they aim at the head when they come to hit it. And I got two different sizes. So I got one that's 3 inches, and then this bigger size, which is 4 inches long. So that's the Crush City, the Mayor. Then I got some other Crush City baits. I'll show you those in a second here. All right, these next ones were the ones that I was really interested in. It's called the Freeloader. I'm going to pull one out of each one of these packages to show this to you. This is a really cool bait. So I got interested in the Freeloader because of a professional fisherman by the name of Jacob Wheeler, who was dominating some of the tournaments with it. And it wasn't available this past summer, at least not to me. But it has this bulbous little ball on the tail here, and this tail, look at that, I'm hardly moving it, and it just wiggles everywhere. Real soft. It's got a real nice action, which I'll explain to you a little more here in a second. Let me show you this other color. So this color here is called Tennessee Shad. It's got a nice shad appearance to it. And I believe it's about 4 inches long, 4.25 inches long. Let me show you this other one. This color is called Sungill. So we have one shad color and one that's much more bluegill colored or perch colored. It could pass for either one. Here are those two baits. So I cover the spectrum of bait fish here with these things. Now, I got interested in this because this year, in the last year or two now, people are using these forward-facing sonar. I don't have forward-facing sonar. I don't feel that I can afford it at this stage, just where I am in my life. Eventually I'll have it, but right now I can't justify the expense for it, so I don't have forward-facing sonar. But I don't need it to be able to catch suspending fish if I feel the fish are out there, or if I can find them on my side finder or even on my regular 2D sonar and just backing off of them. But this whole forward-facing sonar has opened up a window of opportunity for fishing for suspended bass, and a lot of the lakes where I fish, they suspend. Nockamixon, they definitely do. Wallenpaupack, they suspend. I've seen suspended fish in Beltsville, Blue Marsh. And they're not easy to catch, typically. However, there's a lot of new techniques that are being aimed at them. One of the things that started catching them very well a number of years ago were spy baits. And now we've got a number of different things like the Damiki rig. And now most recently, what Jacob Wheeler was doing. Now a lot of other people are doing a very similar thing of what Jacob was doing, and I'm going to go into that in a minute here, with other baits. There's the Hog Farmer. I forget what that bait is called. There's just a bunch of them that are very similar to this. They have that like a pin tail to them, but they're very flexible. And they're meant to be fished with a specific jig head. You can have them go down to the bottom and fish them along the bottom, but most people will have them count them down to a particular depth. And this is, you need a spinning rod for this, otherwise you're going to wear yourself out. And then you're shaking the rod as you're reeling very slowly. And if you do that right, the bait actually wobbles back and forth. And the key to getting it wobbling back and forth is to use the right jig head. And the one that Jacob Wheeler was using, I also bought that as well. And it's this VMC hybrid swim bait jig. This is a 3/8 ounce one. That's kind of on the heavier side. But if you need to get it down a little bit, that's how you do it. So this jig head is a little unusual in that a lot of people are using a 90-degree line tie jig head, where that line tie comes straight up. But on this jig head, if you can see that, that's like a 60-degree line tie. And Wheeler was saying that that was key to getting his bait to rock even more. And there's videos out there. If I can find one of them, I will link it here, where he's fishing this thing and shows it in either pool or clear water. I don't remember which. But boy, that thing is really rocking back and forth. And he caught a number of giant bass doing it. I can imagine it would work very well for stripers and other species as well. And that's why I got these baits. I want to experiment with this. I did a little bit at the end of last year, but I really didn't have enough time to really get into it. This year I will. One of the unique things about this jig head is it's got this screw lock on there. So that's nice because it's good and it's bad. It's nice because if you do it right and get it on there right, the bait ain't coming off. It's going to stay on there real well. But it's a little bit of a pain getting it on there. You have to measure up the bait. Show you how this goes. So you want to take a look at, okay, where does that hook have to come out? So then I'm going to put it in and the hook's going to come out right here. I mark it. But then what you have to do is twist this in there, and in order to do that you just have to kind of keep twisting the tail out of the way like this as you're twisting this around, and eventually you get to the head of the bait. And once you do, it stays on there real well. Most important thing is you've got to have this perfectly straight. It has to come straight out of the back. Very, very straight. You don't want it coming out one side or the other. You have to rig this thing straight. But if you do that and you throw it on light line, maybe 6, 8, all the way up to 10 or 12 pound test, depending on the weight and the size of the bait you're using, and you shake that rod as you're reeling real slow, you'll get that thing rocking back and forth like this. It's a unique action. It looks very different. The fish aren't used to seeing it, and I think that's why they're crushing it for Mr. Wheeler and a number of other guys that are fishing that technique on the pro circuits this year. Well, that's it. I gave you a little bit of an extra bonus there with what I've been thinking and what I've been buying with these Crush City baits. Hope you liked the video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you have experience with any of these things. You know, I'm curious about, do you fish the shower blows? What do you think of that? Anybody ever fish these crankbaits, these soft plastic crankbaits? I can't wait to experiment with these things. It's going to be interesting. Again, that was called the Karahara KC crankbait, and that's a JDM bait. It's going to catch fish. I'm looking forward to playing around with that. Lots of stuff for me to experiment with. Let me know what you found in your experimentation. If you have any experience with these baits, would love to hear from you. Don't forget to comment. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Give me the thumbs up if you like this particular video, and we're out. We'll see you next time. Be safe out there, and as always, may God bless your fishing endeavors.